Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And also check out our Patreon page. I'll put a link below. On Patreon, you're going to get the ability to get exclusive content, reviews that haven't been released yet, and also a discount code for 15% off of everything in our online web store. Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to do this week's new arrival video. This is for June 19th, 2020. So I'll kind of start by saying, in Phoenix, the virus is kind of picking back up. So it's kind of crazy. So when we first opened up, business was off the hook. People were waiting months to get into a record store. It was crazy. That has kind of subsided, and it is very, very slow. It's kind of a combination of the uptick in the virus in Phoenix in conjunction with our summers are notoriously slow as it is. But yeah, records are still coming in though, and things are still moving along here in the store. First, I want to talk about a couple of pre-orders. Paul McCartney's reissuing Flaming Pie. There's a couple of vinyl variations, a regular 2-disc and a 3-disc deluxe. Those are available for pre-order. Also, Bob Dylan has his new album coming out. Right now, they've only announced a UK import. There hasn't been a US release slated on vinyl. The CD comes out, I believe, this week, but the vinyl comes out in a couple of months. That pre-order is also on the website. One of the best analog reissue series announcements I've heard in a long, long time is Analog Productions, in conjunction with the Verve catalog, the Impulse catalog. I think there's some Decca titles. They are doing a reissue series. This is going to be 2 titles a month. It looks like they're all going to be on 33 RPM, but they're all with the tip-on jackets, real similar to the Beach Boy titles they've done and other titles. You know, that really high-quality Music Matters style jacket. But these are all 33s, all tip-on jacket, all sourced from the original analog tapes. I am really looking forward to this series. There are a couple of titles on there that I have been saying for years that need to be in print that are back on there. The first 2 titles are already available for pre-order. They come out July 31st. That is Gets Galbardo. There's a 45 RPM version that is in stock. It is on one of my recommended top jazz records that should be owned. The 45 is amazing. It is one of the best sounding records you will ever hear. It is magical. But they're doing a 33 RPM version of it. It's done by George Marino as well. He did the 45 RPM. He's doing the 33 RPM. So I'm guessing this, it's going to have top-notch sound quality. But July 31st. And the other title is Louie Armstrong meets Oscar Peterson. I can't remember that album. I'm sure I've heard it along the way sometime or another, but looking forward to that title as well. Some things get done to death. The Gets Galbardo has been done a zillion times. Originally, there was Mobile Fidelity did it, Analog Productions did it, Speaker's Corner did it. The Analog Productions title is a home run. That is the best I've ever heard that album. You guys don't own it. You should own it, even though a 33 of it is coming out. That 45 is absolutely spectacular. It was out of print for a while, and then they kind of brought it back here recently. The Louie Armstrong, that's nice because it's a brand new title. It's great when audiophile labels don't do the same old thing. This is a new title. This is something new to the market. So looking forward to that. Also, on the website, I have, if you go to the website, theingroove.com, THEINGROOVE.com, all these records are for sale on our website. But also, I've done a combination of a couple of videos. I did the 10 best jazz records, the 10 best R&B and blues records, the 10 best rock records. I have created a section on the top of our webpage that is titled the 100 best records. So I'm going to be updating the videos, and I'm going to be adding some stuff because there are a ton of great analog reissues that are in print now that are available that are worthy of any collection. So that is going to be something that I do more videos on. I add to the list, but in this video, I'm going to add a title to that list. and I'll add it to the website, and I'm going to kind of keep that to 100 records, and I'll do video updates periodically on that list because it is ever changing. Some of the titles that are on that list are out of print now, and it's only a couple of months old, so I'll have some updates for it, but there's going to be a couple updates, and as we get along in this video, I'll show you. But first, there is 3 Blue Note Tone Poet, excuse me, not Tone Poet, 80th anniversaries that came out this week. I have very limited stock on these. I will have a ton of these come Monday, maybe Friday, depending on when UPS or FedEx brings the rest of my order to me, but right now it's pretty slim. But fantastic series. I've talked about the 80th anniversaries a lot. The 80th anniversaries are 100% analog if it was an analog record. You know, they do some newer titles, some stuff that came out in the last couple of decades that were originally recorded digital. But the titles that were recorded analog, that the analog tape exists, Larry Young here, they're done just like the Music Matters sound-wise. Now, this is a, you know, pretty crummy, cheap jacket, but they're only $25. But sound-wise, 100% analog, cut by Kevin Gray, unbelievable bargains. Larry Young, Into Something, great record. Grant Green, you know, Grant Green is hot. We sell a ton of Grant Green. Fantastic guitar player, fantastic album. Kenny Dorham, good album. Joe Henderson, Tommy Flanagan, great record, 80th anniversary. And Andrew Hill, Smokestack. That is the 3rd title. So those are the 3 80th anniversaries that were released this week. Bruno Major, new this week. Owen, The Adventure. Stained. This is a Music on Vinyl numbered exclusive. They only did 1,500 of these. Peggy Lee compilation featuring 22 sexy and swinging classics. So this is an album that for some reason they just keep coming out with every couple of months. This time it is a splattered vinyl variant. So I doubt I'll have these past the weekend. I get them, they sell out immediately, and then 3 months from now they'll do a red or a blue or a green. But this is cool because this is splattered wax, and yeah, Jane's Addiction. I want to say this is the only thing you can buy on vinyl right now from Jane's Addiction that's currently in print. I don't know why, but that's the case. This is going to be a pretty hot title. This is a Warren Zevon record that has never been released on vinyl before. Remastered from the original archival material. Now, I've actually never heard that one used, so that is, that's a maybe analog, maybe digital, you know, whatever it's on. Could be a DAT tape, could be somebody's answering machine that he sung into. I'm not sure. But yeah, original archival material. Newfound Glory. This is a green vinyl variant. Cindy Dolfer, The Essential Cindy Dolfer. Is there any Essential Cindy Dolfer? I'm not 100% sure, but if there is, I'm assuming it would be on this album. These are all numbered, Music on Vinyl, 1,500 on crystal clear vinyl. So this is actually an album that I'm going to add to the best analog records you should own. And the reason I picked this first is because it is a 90s record. Very seldomly are you going to find high quality analog recorded 90s records. Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. And if you look on the hype sticker, it actually tells you, cut from the original analog master tape. There is no skirting around when you, I mean, that is what you are looking for when you purchase records. Remastered from the original analog tapes could be anything, but cut from the original analog tape could only be one thing. This is a great sounding record. It is possibly quasi going out of print. I'm not 100% sure. It is getting harder to find from my distributors, but there's not a ton of high quality 90s analog records. A lot of people ask me, You know, because a lot of folks who are getting into vinyl are, you know, 30s and 40s, and this is, you know, the era that they grew up in. And a lot of that stuff was recorded digitally. But recorded analog, if you like Alanis Morissette, it's clearly her best album, and it is 100% analog. This was an album that I should have included on last week's video. I showed ORG does great analog records. They do some other stuff that is not in the audiophile domain, but this is a true and true audiophile record. This is Coltrane Jazz. It is a double disc, 45 RPM. This was cut from the original analog master tape, and this was mastered by Bernie Grundman, who is probably one of the very, very best mastering engineers in the world. And if you watch any interviews with Bernie, he's a jazz guy. I mean, it seems like musically, personally, he's a jazz guy. So he does an amazing job on these Coltrane titles. Coltrane Jazz, and I showed a few others in last week's video. My Favorite Things, Ole, one of the two. He does that on 45 RPM. But these are worthy of any collection. I think I mentioned it in the last video. They did Mingus a Hum. Went out of print. It's a couple $100 already. So these are not titles you want to sleep on. Get them while you can, because when they go out of print, they get expensive, and they get expensive fast. Daywave. No clue what that is, but it is new. Another music on vinyl. The Animated Egg. This is a numbered version to 750 copies on orange marbled vinyl. Looks like a, you know, I'm not familiar with the album. Kind of looks like a psych album from the 60s. Houdini. Another music on vinyl exclusives. These kind of tend to come in spurts. Probably the way they ship them. They release these in chunks. But this is number 2, 1,000 copies on transparent blue vinyl. Whitesnake, the Rock album. Revisited, remixed, and remastered. Part 1 of the Red, White, and Blues trilogy. All new 2020 mixes. So yeah, here I go again, and the previously unreleased new song, Always the Same. Look at that. New Whitesnake in 2020. This is interesting. I'm going to have to give this a listen to. This is the Cro-Mags. They have not recorded in 20 years. This is their first record in 20 years. Yeah. So that is, I want to say, yeah, that's a limited color indie exclusive version as well. Doesn't specify the color. All right, so this is something I actually should have started with. This is the big release of the week. This is Neil Young's Homegrown. I actually did a unboxing on this. Really cool. Check that unboxing out, guys. This is 100% analog. I've listened to this twice today. There's a couple of tracks on this that grow on you. They say this is, you know, this is kind of the Harvest quality. I think that's kind of an unreasonable statement. Harvest is an amazing album. It's an iconic album. This has got songs that would have been worthy of that album, but the whole album, you can never replicate Harvest. That is a smoker from beginning to end. This is a great record. This is all analog. This is an indie exclusives version. So this was going to be a record store day release, but it was pulled. There is a art print inside that's included with the indie exclusive. You go on my previous video, you could see where I did an unboxing on this. So yeah, really good sounding, all analog record. And you could check out, I show you on here, they're doing something new. They are doing a, kind of like the old SPARS code on the old CDs in the 80s where they showed you the sourcing. Neil Young actually puts on there in a little, kind of a little logo sourced from the original analog master tape. Really cool. I wish it would get, you know, picked up, be more mainstream on other releases. All right, guys, this is a record that I included on the top 10 analog records you should own. And I think this has subsequently been out of print. So I filmed the video. I went to reorder some more. It's out of print. Everybody's out of stock on these in the United States. I don't know anybody that actually has these right now. This is Neil Young, Harvest, cut by Chris Bellman from the original analog master tape. Absolutely home run of an album. Just mentioned that earlier. But go onto the website, get this while I have it. I was able to find a distributor, a small distributor, who had a few copies, and I cleaned him out. I got every single copy he had. But while this is in print, Neil Young's best album, I think that's fair to say. Neil Young's best album and an analog, textured cover version of it. This is an absolutely must-own album. And I'm thinking after this week, you will not see it again. Like I said, I think a lot of the Neil Young stuff is going out of print. So everything that I've had, I've not been able to replace in months and months. So what you see is what you get for now. Phoebe Bridgers. This is a limited color version of the Punisher. It is red and swirly. That is the official color of this album. It is red and swirly. Agents Obel, Myopia. Another album on Blue Note, Candace Springs. Dee Dee Bridgewater. This is a great Afro kind of funk record. This is a reissue on Mr. Bongo. I haven't listened to it. Some of their stuff is pretty solid. Blanco White, On the Other Side. Not familiar with that as well. This is another broadcast. This is Alice in Chains, live at the Sheraton in Los Angeles, September 15th, 1990. This is one of those FM broadcasts that's legal to press on vinyl because of European copyright laws. And we got Jeff Beck and the Yardbirds. I Ain't Done Nothing Wrong. So this is a picture disc on replay. This is actually numbered to 500. So this is kind of a one-shot deal. I doubt you'll be able to get that twice. But yeah, that's it. So again, to recap, guys, do not sleep on the Neil Young Harvest. This is not something that will probably remain in print much longer. I don't think it is in print, but these manufacturers don't ever quite say. You go to reorder, it's not there, price shoots up, everybody pays a ton of money. But as of now, I got some copies. Again, I'm going to add, prime example, that is, once these are sold out, I'm going to probably not have them anymore, but I'm going to be updating the list. Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, is going to be on that top 100 analog records that are in print that you should own. All right, guys, I'm Mike. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Until next time. I want to put that on the outtakes.